Welcome to the Bourbon Van. I'm Phil.
I'm Julie. You guys are bad influences. So we weren't going to spring for the Cal 16, but darn it, if you guys just haven't told us over and over how delicious it is, so here we are.
This is Calumet Farm, 16-year-old whiskey, the 2022 release. 106 proof, so up 1 proof point from last year's 15-year release. This is a Barton-sourced product for now, is our understanding. We've got the 15-year here in the super good glasses because
Super good.
we already know it's super good. And it did take us a minute to come around on that bottle.
I was going to say, I'm actually the one that told Phil to get the Cal 16, and if you've been following the channel, you know that I'm not one to spring for these expensive bottles, but I loved the 15 so much. It took me, I don't know how long into the bottle, but it was my surprise of last year.
I think we should just get into this.
I'm so excited.
I'm ready. Here we go. On the nose, Cal Farm 16. Off the jump, I like this better than I liked the 15 on the nose last year. The 15 just struck me as spicy last year.
I already cheated and I smelled the 15 because I like the 15 so much more.
Are we just going to go out of order here, do whatever we feel?
I'm not going to taste the 15 yet, but I like to know, like, the nose, how they change. It's very oaky. I did get a hint of banana in there.
I wouldn't say any spice to speak of.
Well, I'm excited. Let's try this.
Here we go, on to the tasting.
Cheers. I liked everything about breathing in as I was drinking that. Like, the smell got better and better as the liquid hit my tongue.
Cherry fruit, bubble gum.
There is bubble gum. That's what I was getting. Bubble gum, so much oakiness.
I really like it. I
Yeah.
would say that the
warm.
oakiness there, sweet, oh yeah, here comes that hug. Not overpowering.
This is not one that I'm going to actually have to give it a go again. The 15 actually took me quite a few times drinking it. It wasn't until the Advent tournament that I thought, oh man, I could really get after this bottle. This one is very pleasant.
Yeah.
Right out of the gate.
We spent $150 on this bottle.
Yes. You're jumping to what I normally jump to towards the
can't help
end
myself.
of, like, do you think it's worth the 150 already?
Well, and I know I should be holding off on this, but it's in the front of my mind today. I just can't really escape it. I would expect more from the finish here.
Well, on the 15, I came around to the price point on this because of all the not crazy flavors, but I remember there was like a lot of tobacco, a lot of leather, a lot of really interesting flavors. This tastes like bourbon. This tastes like delicious, beautiful bourbon to me.
Yeah, I would. First blush, I'm thinking this is less unique than last year's edition, and maybe
Agreed.
that's just because the new bottle and we're just getting into it here, but it's not blowing me away. I think it's a little thin.
Okay.
Dare I say even watery a little bit? Maybe I'm just expecting too much for a 106 proof 16-year aged whiskey. But right now I'm not being blown away by this bottle the way that everybody is talking about it being whiskey of the year.
You are doing what I usually do with, like, basically life, movies, all the stuff. People get so amped up about stuff, and I am a low expectation person because I want to always be pleasantly surprised. So you're in the position now where so many people have told us how amazing this bottle is. You have to get it, you have to get it. I'm keeping more of an open mind here. I feel like you're getting a little bit more critical only because you have that, like, is this the bottle of the year versus, like, you've stumbled onto the bottle of the year.
Yeah, the cherry sugars here balance that with sort of the bitter oak that's starting to come through more and more. I'm not saying there's not a lot of flavor here or that it's not very good, because it is. I think it's great whiskey. I think the thing that's bothering me about it is why I keep hearing it brought up in discussions of whiskey of the year. Is that because it's so good or because we've had so few bottles that would come anywhere near to whiskey of the year this year? Somebody tell me in the comments if you've got a whiskey that you think is whiskey of the year worthy, that competes with something like this.
A bit more mainstream.
Well, anything, honestly, because this to me, I'm enjoying it a lot. And yes, as this bottle opens up, I think we will enjoy it more and more, and maybe it will ultimately wind up on our year-end list.
It could be like the 15 where we had it, weren't blown away right away, and then all of a sudden it came on strong about, I don't know, what, 30% down or something,
well,
and it got amazing.
It won the Advent tournament for you, this 15, and the 16, I don't know if it'll go in the tournament this year. Last year it was chosen at random. This year I think we needed to target it a little bit better. I do think that there's some nice whiskey flavors here. There's some good things happening here. But I've had better whiskey than this year. I'm quite confident of that.
Well, let's try it against the 15 because sometimes,
That's a good idea.
dabbling into something else changes the flavor profile as well.
Maybe it just needs to show off a little bit.
Yeah. The nose on 15, she's a beauty.
It's terrific.
So you know how I always say that I want batches to be different? When I come up with a new batch or a new year or whatever, these are quite different.
They're very different.
Yeah. Which in my book makes that a positive thing.
I completely agree. 15 has the leather, the really nice, bold oak. There's a ton to like there. Brown sugar.
That 15 to me always felt a little bit extra, you know, like with all the tobacco notes and the leather and but still the great oak and everything. It just felt like a little bit more unique than things that I had drank last year. And I'll say that again. I said it at the beginning of this. This feels a bit more mainstream, a bit more everyday.
I think the thing that's bothering me so much about it is the mouthfeel and the lack of a really elongated finish.
I'm kind of with you. Like the 15 to me is where it's at. I love that 15, and I still do.
Considering we got it for $30 less than we paid for the 16 year, and I shouldn't hate on the price too much. Consider how long it's been aged.
Yeah.
$150, less than $10 a year for your aging. I don't know if that's a good way to measure these bottles or not. I appreciate well-aged, available quality whiskey, and this is definitely that $150 price point is weighing on me. So I'm sure we're going to hear all about it in the comments. You're going to have every reason under the sun to tell me that I'm wrong here.
Totally.
And honestly, those points are probably valid, and we do need to wait for this one to open up a little bit, and it might surprise me down the road.
I do think this is one that will open up a little bit. The flavors will become more pronounced. You are getting hints of it right now. Even on the finish. I know you were talking about the finish. It didn't have a good, but I'm getting some of those really wonderful oak flavors, some like really solid vanilla on the finish. Even a little bit of leather is sneaking in there. It's just not full right now.
Right, yeah.
It might just need that little bit of oxygen to help those flavors come to the top.
Yeah, I can't hate on the finish. It is showing up more, like you said.
Yeah.
And all of those flavors are lingering. You notice as we've been talking here, as we've been drinking, as these have been sitting here opening up, that list of flavors is getting longer each time we talk about it. So I think that you're right, that I shouldn't be too hard on this bottle. I just think that going from $120 to $150 here in Oregon, and you're probably getting it cheaper out there. I'm sure many of you are.
Or more expensive.
That's possible too. But a $30 price increase for a single year of extra aging, there's a lot that goes into it, obviously, but it doesn't strike me as being worth that $30 increase right now. And the thing that bothers me the most about it is that there's more Cal Farm 15 sitting right next to it on the shelf here in Central Oregon still, and even Cal Farm 14. So if you're looking for those things, that's where you find them. But I think that for the money, I could be talked into going back to the 15.
That's what we're kind of basing this whole review on. Because if this bottle cost $65, it's a no-brainer, right?
Yeah.
I would have probably said the same thing about the 15 last year. Like, I don't understand why we paid so much money for this. I don't like it. Now looking back a year later, or however long that was, I would 100% buy a second bottle of the 15. I just am so enamored with it. This is a tough video. Sorry, guys.
It's a tough call. It's a tough call, yeah, because after hearing everybody rave about this 16 year, I thought for sure it's going to blow the 15 away. It's going to be this absolutely stellar expression that is going to be so unique and so amazing, and it's in the conversation for Whiskey of the Year, and it's well-aged Barton. We've gotten that before. We've tasted that before. I'm just probably being too hard on this bottle, but I'm not blown away by it, and I'm a little disappointed.
That first sip, I agree. I was underwhelmed. I just took another sip here, and some of that leather note is coming through now. Some of the cherry notes are coming through, that oak. It's great. $150, I don't know. I feel like it's going to follow the trajectory of the 15 a bit, though I do think I prefer the 15 at this point.
Yeah, there's a new flavor showing up here on the 16. NyQuil, medicinal.
Oh no, for you? Actually, you love that stuff.
I love NyQuil, but I'm not that big on medicinal flavor on my whiskey. And it's kind of giving me that cough syrup thing. And it is almost gone because I'm thinking about this very intensely. I want this to be amazing. I'm not finding it to be amazing. So I don't know. I know I'm gonna catch a lot of flack. You're not going to catch it as much as I am because you're liking this more than I am. But
Yeah.
maybe it's the $150 that's just in my head and I can't get rid of it. But it's not blowing me away, and I would sooner spend $120 on the 15 year over and over again.
At this point, I can't disagree with that.
Kudos to the 15, which we didn't like at first. It keeps showing up. It keeps performing, and we love it. And again, not being as harsh on it, it's not really any thicker than the 16. It's not the mouthfeel, the finish. It doesn't do anything better than the 16, not really.
Just the flavors.
The flavors are great, and well, it doesn't cost $150. So if you've been waiting for somebody to tell you, oof, if you're nervous about spending $150, don't.
We're your channel.
We'll be those folks today because $130, $125, something like that. I'm in on this. More than that, there's too many great bottles that are under $100 that we would buy sooner. So there you go. We're going to catch a lot of grief for that, but it's worth it. We don't mind. We're here to help.
I'm also not disappointed that's going to be on our shelf.
No, well, it's an interesting story. It's a good looking bottle. So if you're a collector and you just want to have this bottle on your shelf, we totally get it. But if you're looking for a great value, a terrific deal, not going to say that this is the one for you. So that's about all I got to say about it. What do you think?
I think you're in for some heartache today.
Yeah, I'm a little nervous about how this one's going to go over out there. But, well, what can you do from wherever we are?
To wherever you are.
Cheers.
Cheers. She needs some time.